Hi everyone, the Paletteful Packs box build December 2019 has just arrived on my doorstep, so let's crack it open and go on. Okay, this month is a super heavy one. I'm very excited to see what is in store. Let's spin it around for once, I remembered, and see what we've got. Wow, lots of different goodies. We have some golden acrylics going on. I was actually thinking they haven't given an acrylics box while I've been subscribed to them, I don't think. We have golden acrylics yellow medium, and I'm not sure why it's a medium. There's a weird other name there, but I don't know. Quinacridone magenta, the lid was a bit off there. There's a blue, phthalo blue shade, and a titanium white. So maybe they've listened to some feedback and decided to give a complete kit with primary colors, and for acrylics, white is so crucial. Black would be useful maybe as well, but really you only need those to do some pretty cool stuff. So I'm very excited. And there is more. There is this container, which maybe works with the medium or just for funsies. It's got a spray, so it's a spray bottle. Some panels. We've got a oil and acrylic panel, so that's cool that it can work with the one from last month as well, and the box from last month as well, I mean. A smooth finish panel. It's acrylic primed. It feels very, very smooth. We've got a menu here, and I never bothered to read out the prompts lately, so this time I'll stop and do that. We've got holiday for week 1, cozy for week 2. I'm not sure what the other word is there or why it's there. Week 3 is gift, and week 4 is excitement. That one's a real challenge, but obviously the others are possible and well planned for December. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but there's holidays in December, right? So holiday and gift, it makes sense, and you get cozy in front of fires and stuff. If you live in the northern hemisphere anyway, if you're in Australia, you'd be hanging out at a beach. Let's see, because it's summer down there. Let's see, we've got something from Golden here. They're fluid acrylics. Oh, so maybe these are pouring medium ones. That's so cool. And these are all the colors for it. I didn't even think of that. I don't know why. And I watched so many of those fluid pouring sorts of videos on YouTube. They're so mesmerizing and so interesting. We've got a super huge brush here. It looks more like an oil painting brush, but I'm sure it could be used for acrylics or maybe acrylics and oil. It's a 4 White Sable Robert Simmons. And then there's still more. This is a great box. I always feel that they're great. And I totally forgot to point out that they've got multicolored Christmassy worms. That's really sweet of them. Gold and red for the holidays. And then a super large panel. So what a cool box. Let's go on an art adventure and play with these things. To try out the materials, I decided to use the 6x6 inch ampersand primed smooth artist panel. I've never used one of those before, but I've been really curious about them, and they really are an interesting surface to work on. I did find drawing a little bit tricky on them with the Prismacolor Colorays pencil that I use, and maybe it would have been smarter to use a soft graphite pencil because they are so smooth, but then I was worried about the graphite mixing in with the acrylic paints, and I knew if I used a Colorays that wouldn't be a problem. For the piece, I decided to draw a kind of Christmassy stylized deer or reindeer, and it ends up being something kind of floating in space with Christmas ornaments hanging off its antlers, its stylized antlers anyway. In terms of the paints, which are the Golden Artist Color Fluid Acrylics, I found them really challenging to work with, partly because I did not even bother to try and swatch them out to see what they were like. They just were so liquidy, and I think in the menu that they say, yeah, the menu does warn you that they are like a heavy cream. Maybe I would say even more like a light cream, and I found that they were really unusual and watery to work with, and so at first I was worried that it was all just going to be a mess, but I just decided to keep pushing through and figured maybe I'll be able to layer in just let each layer dry and then put a new fine layer on top of that one and then build things up. But as you can see here, as I'm putting in the second layer, they just kind of meld and mix in a watery way that doesn't end up being uniform. And I think part of that is because this canvas, or whatever it's called, the panel, is so very smooth. And so I really begin to worry, and I just decide to go, oh well, and try experimenting. And I take that spray water bottle just filled with water and spray a light mist of water on it, and then it begins to merge and mix in an interesting way. And so I decide to then also add in some white paint and at the bottom part, and I always did want a gradient, but I wasn't sure about putting in white paint until the paint was so fluid and mixing. I thought maybe I can kind of create kind of like an acrylic pour background, and so it ends up working pretty well like that. I also put a little bit of red to kind of deepen the sky up the top. And then in terms of the deer itself, or the reindeer itself, I start putting down a light whitish cream for the antlers and a more yellowish body as the base layer. And I feel like I'm going to have more success building up the layers on the reindeer, but that doesn't work so well either. The paint is just so thin and so watery, and the layers just end up being really transparent, something that I just don't expect from acrylic paints. Not that I'm very experienced with them, I've only used them a few times, and I think pretty much every time I've used acrylics, it's a different brand with a different kind of medium mixed in, so it's a very different experience. These ones are definitely different from any acrylics I've tried before, but my point is the layers are just showing through. Every time I put another layer on, it just kind of barely covers the layer below it, and so I can't really build up the depth that I'm trying to do. I think maybe I could take an approach of sort of stippling on different colors and seeing how that will work, and I have a little bit more success with that, but it just still doesn't work in the way that I would like it to, and I just know that I'm not going to be able to build up enough contrast for the skill level that I have anyway. And so towards the end, I decided to cheat a little bit by taking a Faber-Castell liner pen with India ink in it and going around the whole reindeer with that, and also a Kuretake white ink pen to be able to put in the fine lines that connect the ornaments onto the antlers. And also I forgot to say that there's a point where I kind of spray water over the whole thing just to see if that will do anything interesting, but it doesn't. The acrylics are setting, they are drying, they're just really thin, transparent layers. And so I end up reaching a point where the reindeer becomes a sort of pinkish purple for its fur with some white places, and the antlers become a cream, and then, as I said, I go around outlining the piece, and that's a kind of standard sort of approach that I'll take to stylized drawing anyway. So even though I cheated a little bit, I'm happy enough with the result, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching it and that you've liked what I've created. And if you've gotten the box, I'd love to hear your thoughts for what you think the box was like this month. I'm really looking forward to trying to do some acrylic pouring sort of techniques with it and trying to do some more abstract things with it, because I really like the effect that I got on the background especially, and so I'm curious to see what I can do in that sort of realm. And yeah, let me know in the comments below if you don't get the box what you think, and how you think I went with this reindeer piece. And of course, please give me a like and subscribe if you're new here. That would be wonderful. Don't forget, guys, create a little more, consume a little less, and I'll see you guys soon for another art adventure. Take care, folks, and thanks for watching.